Welcome to the Coffee and Tango Show, a mixed media show all about Argentine tango. And today I have with me two members of the orchestra Los Angeles del Tango, a local orchestra here in Southern California. And I'll be speaking with Jeff White and Francis Soriano.
Welcome, Jeff and Francis.
Hello, Laura.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Who are you in this photo that we're looking at?
Yes, well, this is Jeff. You see me there on the guitar. And the other person, Francis, my good friend, he's playing the bandoneon, which is an Argentine instrument, which is really our engine of the band. He's kind of the locomotive, I call it, because he provides a solid rhythm, plays a lot of melody. You see on the violin there in the black and white dress, our virtuoso violin player. She keeps us high in the clouds with those wonderful melodies. Laying down the low end is Marianne Serif. She has a big stand-up contrabajo. She's been playing in all kinds of different bands around Los Angeles for many years. And we have a virtuoso on the piano, the lovely Olga Koklova. And she's our newest member, and she plays piano beautifully.
All right. So the band was formed in 2009, and a tango teacher, internationally renowned tango teacher, Homer Latas, he had this open call for local musicians to form this community tango orchestra. And you, Jeff, originally you were part of the original band. You responded. So tell me what drew you to audition for this band.
Yeah. Well, you know, I had just begun learning to dance tango, and I was still kind of clumsily walking around and trying to improve on my tango dancing. And I saw this announcement, and it was, come on down to UCLA. We're going to have a open call and calling all musicians. And we're going to create this little orchestra just to play some tunes. And I show up there and I find a number of really classically trained, amazing musicians, all different types. We had Pablo Goldstein, who's really the godfather of Los Angeles del Tango. He's just such a guiding influence. He's a true Argentinian maestro, plays piano, flute, accordion. And he was there along with Scott Haller, who plays cello, another fellow named Bernard Selling. And there was about 15 musicians there, and we had a great time. And then from that, about a couple of weeks later, we got an invitation to create a band for an actual tango festival in Los Angeles.
What drew you personally to audition for these?
Well, I've been playing guitar and a little bit of mandolin, more in a rock and roll context. I've been playing guitar in bands, playing music ever since high school, and I have my electric guitar, a Stratocaster, and I kind of, also have played acoustic music through the years, and hearing the tango music, it was just so, so varied and so much rhythm and melodies, and it just drew me right to it. It's one of the things that drew me to Argentine tango dancing in the first place was the music. And of course, being a musician, I just said, hey, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring here and see what I can learn and participate, and found these musicians to be amazing, sight reading musicians. And I read music, but I'm not a fluent sight reader. So I've kind of coming to it from a little bit of different background, but I've been playing music for a long time and fit right in, and now I just love it.
So at this, after you auditioned, and then there were about 15 musicians in the initial festival. Was that it? After?
Well, it was just an open call, and we just met informally at UCLA. Homer Latas rented or got access to a space there, and all these musicians came. We used all the tango arrangements that were professionally done by a fellow named Corey Ireland, who's another great inspiration and source for the original arrangements that the band has been using. And so we just sight read the arrangements there and all played together best we could and kind of banged around a little bit. The music sounded pretty good right from the start.
And that's how the original band started then. So after you played this festival, a few of you decided, okay, this is a good idea. We're going to continue as a group.
Yeah, there was a core group of us, 3 or 4 of us. I think it was myself, Pablo Goldstein, and then later on, for this festival, it's called the Smith Tango Festival. It was the Santa Monica International Tango Holiday, they called it, organized by Naomi Fota and a couple of other people. They wanted an actual live orchestrazo. They call it a giant monster tango orchestra. And so that's where Keiko and Marianne and a couple of the other members first kind of started, playing and rehearsing. Mm-hmm. And then after that festival concluded, we had a really fun performance at the festival. We continued on and met up with Olga Kokolova, our piano player, and Francis Soriano.
Francis, so tell me about your experience in joining the group. How did that happen?
So my first introduction was to tango dancing way back around 2010. I was dancing salsa at the time, and my teacher, who was an Argentine teacher, or it was from Argentina originally, also loved tango. So in one of her studios, she had 2 rooms, one which would play salsa and one which would play tango. And from there,
so you started tango dancing and got into that, and it became a passion?
So yes, after about 6 months of doing tango dancing, I realized I was sitting one day really realizing how much the music really just sounded like classical music that you could dance to. And so that's when I started learning piano pieces of tango on the piano at the time. And after about several months of playing that, I was introduced to the group through Scott, and a few months later I joined as a member.
Okay, so
I think we originally met at Oxygen Tango. You were playing kind of a solo concert there at Oxygen Tango, and then Scott, heard you playing, and at that point Scott and I had already been pretty, active with Los Angeles del Tango, and then we all kind of created a little trio, and we played there at Oxygen, I remember.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, Oxygen, I remember that Milonga. Well, it still kind of goes on, right? It's in Inglewood now. Yeah. So, Francis, you grew up playing piano. The piano was in your background?
Yes.
And so then when you fell in love with tango, that's when you started playing piano with a group?
Started learning the pieces on my own. And at that point, I had no idea what most of the song titles were. I would just look up on YouTube, tango music, and find pieces, and then go find the sheet music for that through the internet, and I would play those. I didn't even know what orchestra leaders there were.
On piano or on bandoneon? Or just before the bandoneon?
So this is long before the bandoneon.
Oh, okay, so you started tango. What compelled you to start learning the bandoneon?
One of my friends was selling his bandoneon. This is at the end of 2013. And I said, sure, I'll try it. And not realizing that it was a very difficult instrument. You always hear that things are hard, and you go, they're hard for everyone else, but not me. And so, of course, when I started learning the bandoneon, I realized how difficult of an instrument it was. And initially, I would just dabble and not be very serious about it. But after about 8 months into it, I decided, I should probably take this a little bit more seriously. And so I took some lessons. I went to a music camp for tango music to learn more about the bandoneon.
Wow. Francis wasn't playing the bandoneon when he first joined you, so you didn't have a bandoneon in the group when you first started?
Big missing piece. We had Pablo Goldstein, who was our original Argentine contributor, inspirational figure, played accordion, which, has a slight resemblance, but the bandoneon was such a key piece, and we were just ecstatic when Francis started to learn that instrument, and he got very, very good at it so quick. We were amazed within a couple of years. He was really just leading the way with the bandoneon. So now we feel like we have a more authentic sound having that particular instrument.
Typically, the bandoneon is a big part of a tango orchestra. And
we have to acknowledge right up front also the virtuosity of our violin player, Kiko Cadby, just an amazing musician. And Olga and Marianne in their own rights too. They've been long-term, classically trained musicians. They just sight read these pieces. It amazes me when we go to rehearsal and somebody brings forward a new arrangement. Somebody hears something at a milonga or really good, and all of a sudden we're playing that within a 20-minute rehearsal. A number of our newer arrangements, we didn't realize Francis had the ability to arrange for our orchestra. He does it.
Oh, wow. Speaking of the arrangements, you noted earlier that when you first formed the band that you would get the orchestrations and arrangements from a website. What was that website?
Yeah, it was called communitytangoorchestra.org. And that's originated and run by Corey Ireland, also with the help of Ben Bogart, I believe. So we play maybe 9 or 10 of his arrangements, but we're really counting on mostly Francis has been providing most of our arrangements. He's probably arranged 10. What is it, Francis? 10 or 15 pieces already?
I'm not sure how many we use because we rotate our pieces, but I think upwards of over 20.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you take original music and arrange it for your purposes.
Well, I listen to orchestras and I transcribe the music just for our group.
Oh, nice. Nice. Well, let's jump into the video. I have a little video. You went on a night show and did a performance. Tell me a little bit about your appearance on the show, and then I'll play the video.
I think it was summer of 2016 by one of the show's talent finders, one of the show's producers. He saw my profile picture that I played the bandoneon, and he thought that was strange. So he contacted me through Facebook, invited me initially just to interview and do a performance. And I said, no, I have a band as well. I have a band. Please, let's do my band. He said, okay, sure, we'll hear your whole band. I called up everyone and said, hey, we guys have to do this. They're like, yeah, sure. So we had about a 2-week notice before we rehearsed and we performed a song very famous called 9 de Julio. So we got to perform as a group, as well as they interviewed me about the bandoneon and about my experience.
Nice. Okay, let's play the clip so everybody can listen and watch.
Y Los Ángeles del Tango.
Oh, well, that was very nice, very nice. So you play around the country, or where do you perform? Because as we all know, tango is, well, it's huge to us, but compared to salsa or other forms of dance, it's still a pretty small community. But wherever you go in the world, there's tango to dance, and there's local bands in San Francisco, and I don't know about other areas of the country. So where do you perform?
Actually, we have been playing all around Los Angeles here in Orange County and San Diego. We've gone down every year for the last 5 years, San Diego. And we've also had the opportunity to go to Tucson, Arizona for a live music tango festival there, as well as Albuquerque in New Mexico. And we're always looking forward for new opportunities. We've been offered a little mini tour up through the San Francisco Bay Area. We're looking forward to that later in the year. And we're pretty active. We play almost every month. We have at least 1 or 2 live performances. We've been really lucky on that so far. We're having a great time.
Jeff, you have a day job, and Francis, you have a day job too, right?
Yeah.
How do you manage to fit in all the rehearsals and all these performances in your daily life?
Well, it's, what would you say, Francis? It's a labor of love.
For each of us on our daily life, we would be playing music anyway. Our bassist, Marianne, has several groups that she plays with, English country dancing, as well as Swedish fiddle. I myself was playing piano before I ever joined the tango. Jeff was playing rock and roll. Keiko was playing classical and toured with other musical acts. And Olga herself also had went as a music major to college, or attended music major. Yes. And because we have so many performances a month, our practice is usually very minimal. We'll practice right before a gig. Right before we perform, we'll learn some new material. Or when we don't have a gig for several weeks, then we'll get together and rehearse new material. And because we've also been doing this for so many years, we have a giant repertoire of material, perhaps twice as much as the average local tango.
How many songs do you think we have now, Francis, would you say? Have you counted them? I haven't counted them.
We have close to 50 in our repertoire that we can pull out and play in a short notice.
Nice.
Certainly we have like about 5 or 10 in the reserve bank, where we're waiting for times where we have a lull so we can start learning new material.
From a dancer's perspective, so you play at milongas, and for those who don't know what a milonga is, it's a tango dance, a tango social, where all of us tango aficionados go and dance. And most of the time we dance to DJ music, but then once in a while we have the wonderful opportunity to listen to live music, like your band. Is that a concern of yours when you're performing at a milonga, to make sure that your music is danceable? Because sometimes there's some orchestrations or music that is great for listening, but it's not great for dancing a tango or a milonga. So do you take that into consideration when you're playing a milonga?
We do, to a large extent, because
Francis, we lost you.
We lost Francis. Well, I think he'll be coming back on, but yeah, absolutely, we do play for dancers. Right on our website it says music for dancers. That was kind of the idea at the beginning. Every now and then we do try to fit in and put in some more, classical, more jazz oriented. We play a real nice orchestration of Oblivion by Piazzolla, and we're also working on Liber Tango, which is another song. But for the most part, we're looking for good, strong tangos with a real solid, danceable rhythm. So we keep that right at the forefront. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so, what do you guys have coming down the pipe? What is your next performance?
Well, we have. We're really looking forward to playing for Robert Minley's Tango Mio. It's on Tuesday night. The next performance is January 29th. And we played there many times in the past, but it's been about 2 to 3 years, or maybe even longer, since we've played at that location. And he does such a good job such a lively audience there, and it's really one of the favorite milongas in Los Angeles. So we're looking forward to that, January 29th. And Francis and I actually are splitting off, and we're going to be attending a festival in Hawaii. So I can say aloha to everybody in Hawaii.
Nice.
We're going to be doing a special set with Joe Powers, who plays harmonica, just virtuoso harmonica player, and that's called the Hawaii Tango Marathon, coming up the weekend of January 24th. So if you're ready, if you got your surfboard, Laura, you should heading out to Hawaii. Francis and I will be there playing tango music.
I'm going to tango and surf my way there. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Can
you
you
very
hear me?
much. Oh, we can hear you in the back, Francis.
Okay.
What's the website? What's your website? Can you tell our listeners?
Yes, the website is losangelesdeltango.com or losangelesdeltango.com. And we also have, if you look up Los Angeles Del Tango on Facebook, we got quite a bit of information on there as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining us today and letting us know all about your orchestra, and look forward to the performance at Tango Mia. What's the date of that performance?
Tuesday, January 29th. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And then the Hawaii Tango Festival is when?
Yeah, the weekend of January 25, 6, and 27.
Okay,
right
great.
January.
Well, we'll post information on the blog at coffeeandtango.com. We'll have a transcript of this podcast and all the information there, too, for any of our listeners who want to get more information. Well, thank you guys, and aloha.
Okay, gracias.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francis.